It is I. And Phil Swift. Phil Swift is here too. I always forget that he's here. But hello. It's me. Your boy. I'm probably not your boy. Very nice, very nice. Okay. Well, welcome in. Anybody who is here, because we do be making spells today. I got my document open with all the old spells. I'm actually going to go do something real quick, actually, because I have manage rewards. Suggest some homebrew. I'm just gonna change the name to suggest some homebrew instead of request a magic item, because it works a bit better. So that's the thing you can do with your epic gamer points, your channel points, is spend them and suggest magic items and spell ideas. Because I'm not just doing spells. Also, I need to turn this fucking brightness down because I look like a ghost. I look whiter than the fucking Washington Monument. Jesus Christ. Okay, right. Problem solved. I don't, I'm not blindingly white like a snowdrift anymore. So yeah, these are some of the spells we've made in the past. I may as well sort of have a little scan through these, because there's some Have I put this one on my own personal database? Because I feel like I haven't. I'm going to make sure I've actually done that first, because I was doing some homebrew. I was looking for water spells. I have, I just missed it. I'm an idiot. Okay, so yeah, we've got bubble. You put someone in a bubble. It's good fun. I was really happy with bubble. Clairaudience makes you good at hearing stuff. It's pretty good. Cutting current. You just whack everybody with water in a 30-foot cone in front of you, which is pretty gnarly. A deck save. Take damage. Get bonked. Simple as. Let me just actually make a note, because this it's not my notepad. Okay. Epiphone. It's not epiphany or anything like that. It's epiphone, where you make a sound that's so loud it can be heard from up to 5 miles away. Yeah, that's all it does. It's fun. It's fun though. It's really fun. Friction, non-friction. I'll tell you what I didn't do. That's another thing I need to put on my bloody list. Hang on. Don't mind me. Just realising I forgot to do some notable things because I'm an idiot. Right. Friction, non-friction. Good fun. Friction stops people from dashing. And makes it difficult terrain. Non-friction makes people slip and slide. Turns a piece of floor into the slip and slide. Intraceability makes somebody completely undetectable. Necromantic Burst, you make an undead creature explode. Plane shape, you make a plane. Ray of Force, you blast people with your little laser beams. Ray of Oof. I don't remember what I actually... I think I called it Ray of Babbling when I actually put it in my homebrew, but it's Ray of Oof. Ray of Stupidity. Makes people dumb. And Spirit Expulsion... Oh, there's two more. Spirit Expulsion... Yeah, it does necrotic damage and makes people vulnerable to further damage. And then Time Walk gives you an extra turn. So, it's pretty good fun. I like me some Time Walk. Sadly, it does not only cost you, 1 and a blue, it costs you an 8th level spell slot. So, is Time Walk 1 and a blue? I don't actually know. Time Walk is 1 and a blue. You just get an extra turn, because that really was a great idea, now wasn't it? Richard Garfield. We also went through and updated smite spells, including some of my own. Because, hint hint, one of the main reasons I do these streams is because I do shit that I don't make time to do in my own time. Just fixing my hair so it doesn't look quite as disastrous as it did previously. Oh yeah, we made a bunch of magic items as well. Like Amulet of Spell Expanding, Arsonist's Tinderbox, Compact Cart, Divine Ammunition. There's a Edge of Night that makes you invisible and makes you fast when you're in dim light or darkness, which is pretty good. Frostfire Gauntlets, you get to punch people. Helm of Hatred. Just makes people take damage whenever they damage you. Hydrolash, Water Whip, made spoons, magic spoons. Evil Pitchfork, Purse of Coinage. I don't. Yeah, it's basically just a Bag of Holding, but it's only for currency. Reno's Gatling Refractor. You just shoot laser beams at people. Roaring Reeds deafens people. Sedative Spores heal people. There's Divine Ammunition as well, which is ammunition that heals people, believe it or not. I know. Pretty crazy. We have the Tape of Swift Repair. And this piece of glorious artistic wonderment. I mean, it's truth. Tome for Clerics. And a Wild Magic Wand of the War Mage. So some fun stuff. But yeah, we're gonna go back and we'll make some spells because I have a little list of ideas, stuff I want to do. I got some cool stuff. Let me find my fucking list first. There's my list. I found it. Right. Let's just whoop. Right. So my first idea is for a sort of cauterization spell, something that sort of undoes damage in some way, or like gives people health back as temporary hit points, something to that effect. I'm not sure what sort of level we're going to be looking at, but I want to just try and play with something just to see if it's something that really works in 5e, because it might not. It might just suck and be bad. So who knows? This would be an evocation. I'm not going to give it a level, because we may end up making what is functionally like a first level spell. We may end up making something that could be like a fifth or any level of spell, realistically, because I have no idea where I'm going to go with this specifically. I know, however, I do want it to be Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard, and I want it to be support oriented. It either like undoes damage in sort of like a not so it's kind of like the idea that clerics get healing spells, paladins get healing spells, and they're sort of the two classes that are the best at it. Bards and druids are like close second. Well, realistically, cleric is first, then it's bard and druid, and then it's paladin, and then ranger, like artificer is probably in there somewhere. And then there's just the classes that just don't get healing, or if they do, they get like 1-2 spells that heal people, like life transference and shit like that. I kind of want that to be kind of a factor with the way that it works in Magic, is that there are very, very few effects that are exclusive to only one color. Like black, like discard is exclusive to black. Green specifically very rarely gets flying. And even then, there's examples where it does, just 'cause. Like, there are very, very few mechanics that are wholly, just like, only this color gets this mechanic. and I feel like that should be kind of the same in D&D, but it should just be handled a lot more carefully. Because the way Magic does it kind of does it badly sometimes. But the idea is that if you want life gain, you play white. But you can also get life gain by playing black or green, but it's generally not as good. And that's kind of sort of what I want to do here. You know, it's a healing spell, but it's not really a healing spell. You know, I don't know. We're gonna work with it. Range, touch, components, somatic, material. I kind of like the idea. You've seen in the movies where they like heat a knife over flame, they press it to the wound and like burn the wound closed. Like, I think we've all probably seen that. Either off camera or on camera once or twice before. I kind of like that. A short hunting knife and a piece of flint. So you like strike the knife on the flint and light a spark, which in turn, heats up your knife. And you don't stab them, but you press like the flat of the blade to them. You want to close open wounds, not make more ones. You touch a creature, searing closed its wounds with a burning heat. I kind of like the idea of it doing damage to them and then giving them a bunch of temporary hit points. So, like, a wizard using it on themselves is kind of risky because you might lose concentration on your spell by cauterizing your own fucking wound. But it's not going to be like a lot of damage, it's like a little bit of damage, The target suffers 1d4 fire damage. Then gains XD10 temporary hit points, which remain for 1 minute. Actually, just kind of like this. It's kind of cool. Now, we do need to be careful to not make this better than False Life, which is the first level spell that gives people temporary hit points. The only issue being that False Life is very good at fixing. Like, it's 1d4 plus 4. So, like, you get a minimum of 5. But at the same time, False Life is also kind of shit. Like, unless you cast it before going into a fight, you're like a high-level wizard, and you cast False Life before you go into a fight, at like, second or third level, probably second level, because you don't want to waste any of your counterspell slots. At second level, to give yourself, to net yourself an absolute minimum of 7 temporary hit points. It's not that bad. But generally speaking, when you actually want to cast it, like the times where you have it and it's useful, or the times where the temporary hit points might actually make a difference, you never want to spend your action casting False Life, because why? Why, and that's sort of the unspoken rule with healing and damage reduction in basically any game, is if the opportunity cost. So if you cast a spell that is an action and gives somebody 1d4 hit points, as an example, that's obviously there is no spell that does that. Actually, we'll use Cure Wounds as a better example. Say you cast Cure Wounds as an action on a creature. That creature regains 9 hit points. Like, you rolled okay, you have a decent bonus. You rolled a 5 on a d8 and you have +4. Yeah, very feasible. You spent your action to do that. So there are very few there are no bonus action cantrips. As a cleric, you spent your whole turn doing that, and you don't get to do anything else. Unless the enemies are physically incapable or very unlikely to do more than the 8 points of healing that you just gave them, then it was almost certainly not worth you healing them. Unless the 8 hit points is either going to completely negate a piece of damage, or for a fact it's going to prevent them from dying, it's not worth it. It's not worth the spell slot, and it's especially not worth your action. And that's the kind of thing we need to balance here, is making a spell that is useful, but also isn't, is worth your action, casting it ever, but isn't actively really bad. So, we shall see. I think this is probably a second level spell already, just down to the fact that you are, like, this is already going to give you more temporary hit points than False Life does, even though it does damage to you. I kind of like the idea of it being 3d10, because in the absolute worst case scenario, right, with this spell, is you deal 4 damage to the target, and then you roll 3 ones. So basically you spend your action to deal 1 damage to your friend. But the likelihood of that happening is low, to say the least. You got 1 in 4 chance of... You have a 1 in 4 chance of failing to... Hang on, let's any dice this, actually, because I don't... Dice math is hard. It's complicated. You have a 0.3% chance. Yeah, so looking at the numbers... Looking at the numbers, the likelihood of you casting this spell and it being less effective than a second level Cure Wounds, like, hang on, what is the output of a second level Cure Wounds? Because it needs to be less effective than Cure Wounds. Like, it needs to be, in general, less effective. 2d8 plus 4. So Cure Wounds caps out at 20. This can give you upwards of 29. This can give you up to 29. But the likelihood of that is very, very low. Your sort of cumulative probability of getting 10 is about 1 in 4. So, I'll see if I can see if I can show you this graph. Screen capture, there we go. So this is the graph we're looking at here. So, hang on, let me, named Cauterize, named second level, oh. So this is, oh, I fucked it up. I think I'm supposed to put things here. Yes, I am. So this is what we're looking at. I'm kind of in the way here, I'm aware, but realistically, hang on. Where's my fucking webcam? There we go. I'm out of the way now. I'm in the void. Hello. So we look at this curve. This is Cure Wounds. You're likely to do a decent amount of healing with a second level Cure Wounds, right? And this spell, you're likely to hit higher, which is good because Cure Wounds is permanent. Cure Wounds is like, you heal somebody, they've been healed. That's done. On the flip side, you give somebody temporary hit points that last a minute. Well, lo and behold, they only last a minute because it says there right on the thing that says that they only last a minute. So that's the idea. Whether that works in practice is another question entirely. We will have to see. But I'm going to give it a go. Oh, apparently it wants me to use a semicolon here. I mean, sure, semicolons are cool. I might say they probably last an hour. Probably makes sense. Could be 2d10 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, but then it's probably... I think as it is now, this is the kind of spell I'd have to test, basically. This spell really does require testing. Obviously, it needs to scale as well. And it's going to scale quite well. It's never going to be that good because it's just temp, but it still scales pretty decent. Higher levels, when you cast this spell using a spell slot of 3rd level or higher, the number of temporary hit points granted to the target increases by 1d10 for each spell slot level expended above 2nd. You have no idea how many times I've written that. Basically, that exact sentence in my life. It's a lot. Is the answer? It's quite a few times. Right. So cauterize. I'll mark that off my list. Now I had another idea for a very interesting spell recently. And I love me some gravity spells. Gravity spells are really, really fun. And they're my favorite kind of spells in the game. Just like flat out favorite kind of spell. And I had a cool idea for a type of gravity spell. It is called Graviton Magnet. And it is a something level spell. Not entirely certain what yet, but we're going to work that out. It's a something level spell. Let me just make sure I didn't mark cauterize as a 2nd. No, I didn't. I marked it as a 2nd, like a normal person. 'Tis all good. It's all good. So Graviton Magnet. This would be a transmutation spell. Dunamancy. In my home game, I use Dunamancy. And to my knowledge, whilst it's not presented as one, the Dunamancy type stuff in this bad boy, go this thing for Christmas. It's a good book. I've been reading some of the Gazetteer. I have very fond memories of reading Tal'Dorei, like the PDF for Tal'Dorei, which I do also own, but I have very fond memories of reading the PDF version of. I own the physical book. But on a long coach ride from, I think the one and only time I've ever been to EGX in 2017, I think. Yeah, probably it would have been 2017. And I basically read the entirety of the Gazetteer in like a 3-hour coach journey. That was a cool time. It was cool. But Graviton Magnet, probably Sorcerer and Wizard. I think that's probably appropriate. Though I think Artificers could maybe get access to it. Instantaneous. Somatic. Range 60 feet. 1 reaction, which you take in response to another creature moving into a space within range, or into another creature within range moving. You outstretch your hand, gravitating the target creature back to its original position. The target creature does not move, or in which you take in response to another creature within range. into a creature other than yourself within range, moving into a space within range. Does not. Oh, okay. Welcome back. I'm also going to drink some of my fucking tea because I haven't done that yet. So, I'm playing my new character again tonight. Getting to play my Warlord. So hopefully it's gonna be good fun. Anyway, actually, it's not session 0; it's like proper session 1. So I'm gonna meet the rest of the party, the other 2 members that I hadn't met in the session 0 because we split it up. It was easier that way. Yeah, we got a couple new players in the group. I ran a one-shot for them all to sort of bridge the gap over the Christmas period. It was the only game I ran over that period. First time I've basically run no games in like over a year. Like this past 2 weeks, I've played 1 game and run a one-shot that I had to do 0 prep for, and it was amazing. It's been so good. Like, I love running and I love playing. By God, I needed a break so bad. Like, I needed a break so badly. Right, the target creature immediately stops moving and is pushed back to... And it's pushed back to the space in which it started moving this turn. This, I want to say, is a 2nd stroke 3rd level spell. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Livy. Most gamily. Apparently, I got an emote, or maybe we all did. I'm unsure. Not entirely certain, but you should have the new symbol. Actually, hang on, let me just test it. Yeah, you should have a D8 now if this is your 3rd month. Well, it doesn't appear for me, but I know it should appear for everybody else. I think. Oh, no, it may also take a while. I'm not actually sure how it works, but quite possibly, yeah. The stream manager chat is really weird as well. Like, it doesn't like show a lot of the things that it would normally. But yes, with the spell I just made, you might be thinking, what the fuck is this spell for? What is, the initial implication is a creature moves towards you, you say no, and you push them away. I'm gonna add a saving throw to this in a second, but the idea is that this is a sword and a shield in all in one, because if the big ogre runs towards you, you can say no, and he'll go back to where he was and basically lose all his movement, which is in turn very useful. But the real application for this is when your friend gets launched from your skyship and is about to plummet into oblivion and die instantly, you say, I use my reaction, and you don't, because it says move. Now there are 2 types of movement in 5th edition. They're not documented in any way whatsoever, but they are implied differences in movement. There is movement, a creature, saying, I myself, in my bod, I'm going to go from A to B, and then there is someone else saying, I'm going to move your bod from A to B. So pushing, forced movement, all that stuff is technically still movement, to my knowledge. I will have to check, but odd. That's very strange. I'll just double check and make sure it's been set up, but I think it has. I'm fairly certain it has, anyway. I'll just double check. Where the fuck is it analytics? No. Settings. Affiliate, there we go. Give me a second. Loyalty badges. Yeah, I put them all in. There should be a little D8. I'm very happy with how my loyalty badges came out. I made them all myself. I'm very happy how they've come out. They all look really cool. Yeah, that's really weird. Must be a Twitch thing. I don't know. They're all turned on. I can tell you that much. At least I assume they are. An unwilling creature can resist the spells with a successful strength saving throw. And I would say this is probably, since this is just a kind of a better version of one or two spells that already exist, I think this is probably a 3rd level spell. This is kind of like, yeah, this is counter move. I think this, it makes sense. You know, counter spells 3rd level. This is counter move, more or less. I like this. It's cool. Now I had another idea for a spell, and this one's a little whack. So bear with me. Also, if anybody has any ideas, there's a suggest some homebrew. You can do the channel points or what have you, or the epic gamer points is what they're called, because that's what they are. You know, only epic gamers get epic gamer points. See, and this is the only place you can get them, from me, or from my Twitch channel, which I guess is me, whatever. Right. We're making Arcane Artillery. It's a something level spell, not entirely sure what. Maybe, I'm probably going to go 6th. 6th level evocation. Yes, yes. Thanks for stopping by. See ya. So 6th level evocation. Let me just go read up on something real quick, because there might be a couple people who can probably already guess what it is that I'm doing. And I can tell you that you're probably right, assuming that you are thinking of the right thing, and I'm assuming correctly that you are also thinking the right thing. So realistically, you could be wrong, but instantaneous for artificers. Sorcerers. Oh, no, I'm Artificer, Sorcerer, Wizard. Verbal Somatic. 240 feet. Big range. You conjure 5 glowing missiles of arcane force. Hits a creature of your choice that you can see within range. Each missile deals 1d10 plus 10, pending. That's just, I just like the symmetry. That's probably really too strong, but we're gonna deal with that when we get there. Each missile, yeah, that is way too much, but I will do that in a second. Force damage to its target. The missiles all strike simultaneously, and you can direct them to hit one creature or several. Big magic missile. I'm just going to copy the text from Magic Missiles. The spell creates one more missile for each spell slot level expended above 5th. Now, we're actually going to work on balancing this, because 5d10 plus 50, that's better than Disintegrate, which is a 6th level spell. This is already a 6th level spell. Right, let's I thought I put it in as a 5th. In which case, maybe this is okay. It's not okay. It's way too much. Way too much. To be fair, I could do 1d10 plus 3. In theory. Maybe 5. Hang on, that's 5d10. So let's look at the numbers. Let's crunch some numbers over here, right? So let's go find the DMG in my monster stack of books. For fuck's sake, it's the one furthest from the top. Well, not furthest from the top, but you know what I mean. It's further from the top than I would like. Ugh. Alright, we're going to go to creating the creating spell section. Now, I could just look this up, but flipping through the book feels nicer on stream, you know? Even though none of you can actually see anything, because the aspect ratio on this webcam is really weird. The book is here, and I am flipping through it with my hands. I mean, I could be flipping through it with my, my face. But I'm not. Using my hands like a normal person. Look at how fucking fantastic I am. Absolutely unacceptable. How dare you not be present? This is deeply disrespectful. No, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Okay. So, spell damage. Here we go. Oh, wrong page. Here we go. Let me just get it up there real good. Where is it? Can you read that? There we go. That's the table we're looking at. So we're looking at a multiple targets. Hang on, is my finger even close to where the thing is? No. No, it's even on the wrong fucking side. Basically, we're going to be looking at this. So a 6th level spell that deals damage to multiple targets does, generally speaking, 11d6 damage. 11d6 is 38 points of damage. 38.5, but whatever, round down. This deals 5d10 plus 25 is 22, 27, 30, 32. I think actually this works. I think changing from 10 to 5 actually balanced the spell. Let me just do the maths again and make sure I did it properly this time. Because I'm pretty sure I was right, but I'm just going to double check to be sure. Can never hurt and all that. Let's have a look. So 11 times 3.5 is 38. 5 times 5.5 plus 25. Never mind, I was completely wrong. It's 52 points of damage. That's way too fucking much. I was about as far off as I possibly could have been because I'm a fucking idiot. We need to drop this damage to like 30, realistically speaking. We could do d6. That could be good. Makes it less swingy. So everyone is going to do, probably an average of like give or take about 8 damage. So 8 times 5 is 40, still too much. Realistically, I think our best thing is just making it so it's 3 missiles, That might just be a better idea. So we're 11, 16, brings it up to about 30 damage. So this is maybe a balanced spell. It's probably balanced. I am also, however, going to put any spell that would grant a creature immunity to damage from the magic missile spell suffers half damage from the first missile. No damage from the first missile that hits them per casting of this spell. Is that reasonable? Like, it complete, like, you know, if they've got a Brooch of Shielding or they cast the shield spell, one of the missiles is completely stopped and all of the others still come through, or we half the damage of all of them. Which, I think actually we're going to do the latter, because the spell is already pretty good. Half damage from this spell. Any creature immune to damage from the any creature or object immune to damage from the magic missile spell suffers half damage from this spell. Yeah, that works, because the main power of magic missile is not in its damage at higher levels. It's in its ability to be guaranteed damage and also be a source of basically just stopping spells. Is stopping spellcasters from concentrating, because if you hit somebody with 5 magic missiles, or 6 or 7 or whatever, statistically speaking, they're pretty likely to fail their con saves. Like, even if their con save is pretty okay, like, they got a good, you know, like, unless they have like +10, in which they physically can't fail it. Statistically speaking, if they roll something 10 times with even like a 5% chance of failure, you know, that's 10 tries to hit a 5% chance. You're looking at probably about 30% chance of failure, 30 to 40%, give or take. Like, I can't do binomials off the top of my head, but that's approximately what it's going to be, which is pretty okay. I think this spell is cool, mostly just because it's big magic missile, so, you know, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, I like this. I think it's neat. I am not sure. I have a few ideas written down, and I'm not sure which one I want to go with at the moment, you know? Kind of stumped. If anyone has any suggestions, do slap them in. I'll spend some epic gamer points. There we go, those are the words I'm looking for. I'll tell you an idea I had before. I might I might play some Arena, because obviously I have my game to go to later on, but I've gone through a lot of my ideas a lot faster than I expected to. I do kind of feel like playing some Arena. So I might actually switch over to that in a minute and play some NTGA, because the Narset deck, the Narset and Friends deck that I played basically the last time I played Arena, which was in like August, because or it was like September or something before the rotation, and after that I had like no decks that were fun. And even now I still don't really have any fun decks, because there's not really any fun decks in Standard at the moment. Standard is pretty fucking boring. It's just a bunch of Zendikar Rising cards I don't like, and Red Egg Wins and Esper Control. And I've been playing that Narset deck in Historic, and as much as I don't really like Historic, just as a basic concept, I don't particularly like it very much. It's fun playing that deck again, and I kind of want to go back in and play some, you know, so I might do that in a minute. I'm going to make one more spell, though. And I'm going to go with one of my other ideas. One of my more an idea I got whilst playing Mark of the Ninja last month-ish. If the VODs aren't on Twitch anymore, they'll be on YouTube. Do I have a YouTube command? VODs? I do. Look at me, so fucking organized. How fucking organized am I? The answer is not very at all. I am by no means organized whatsoever. Something else I do actually want to do is I want to increase the height of the chat window because it's far too small. I'm also going to decrease the font size as well because it is far too large. That should do it, he says. Maybe. Maybe. Let's hit a test. How's that look? Come on, stream. Come on, you bastard. I think I may have broken the chat box because I can't fucking see the message I just put in. Oh well. Let's just undo those changes. Whatever they did. Let's see if it undid them. It did not. Uh-oh. Whatever. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, I know what I did. It's fine. All is well. All is well. I'm just an idiot. Which is usually the cause for most problems. I didn't move it, so that message did come through. It just appeared underneath my webcam because, I mean, I got so many brain cells. I got at least 6, at least. Right. Twilight Gate. It's the name of the thing from Mark of the Ninja, where you open a door, grab somebody through it, and stab them in the general bodily zone. I guess, I don't know. You stab them through a door. Well, you don't through the. You open the door and you in one fluid motion. You open the door and you grab them, and then you with the scissors. That looked very phallic. Oh no. There's the scissors. I was miming stabbing somebody. I promise. Right. One action, range, 60 feet. I kind of like the idea of this being sort of like a 4th level spell. And I want rangers to have it. Rangers should definitely get it because the ranger spell list is really bad. It's really, really bad. I want to do one of these streams at some point where I just go through every spell on the ranger spell list and just be like, okay, let's make this good, and then add some new ones that are actually worth a damn. Because the ranger spell list is, boy howdy, is it just awful. It's so bad. I'm not sure if Joe is still here, but I think he can very much attest, because in my Magic Planeswalkers game that I'm starting next week, I want to write like a journal entry about how I've been running that, because I think it's gonna be really interesting if I can muster up the time and the effort to actually do anything like that. He's playing a ranger, and I'm using a mechanic where, based on your magic color, because it's a game about Magic Planeswalkers, so everybody has a color just like in Magic. And each of the colors has their own spell list, similar to how the guilds in Ravnica have extra spells. The colors give you a bunch of extra spells on your spell list too. And he picked basically 0 ranger spells. I think he picked he's like a 7th level ranger, and picked almost 0 ranger spells. His character is white and black, so he picked a bunch of black spells and a bunch of white spells, and that was it. I am genuinely unsure if he picked a single ranger spell, despite being, having access to both 1st and 2nd level spells. So if that doesn't tell you anything, I don't know what does. So that's something I want to do at some point. But either way, I'm going to stop rambling. Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard. I kind of like the idea of just, like, or, gonna be real controversial and do that. Because wizards have too many spells. It's the number of spells wizards have is too damn high. You call upon shadow stuff. I love the word shadow stuff. It is used in the game. I think Creation or Fabricate or something uses the word shadow stuff. It's too stupid. I can't use it here. You call upon the darkness. This is an edgy spell, like, you know, it's edgy. You call upon the darkness to pull your enemies toward you. Choose one creature that you can see within range. That creature must succeed on a... I kind of like it being a charisma save or a wisdom save. You know, a charisma saving... it's a dexterity, because it's like like it must succeed on a dexterity saving throw as shadowy tendrils pull it into a dark portal. Oh, must make on a failure, a creature suffers 48 necrotic damage and is teleported into a space that you can see within 15 feet of you. Into an unoccupied space. That's key. This is the... You know what? Five feet. Shivering darkness. The target suffers 2d10 necrotic damage. Nah, this is dumb. This is dumb. I don't like this. Too much. 15 feet, you go, you're coming to me, or coming vaguely near me, and you pull them into a space. I think, you know, everybody holds their action, and you're like, right, I got this, and you just, you grab somebody unsuspecting, and you just yoink them, and all your buddies just stab them in the face or something. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Plus, you can also teleport them into the air, and they fall out of the ground and take another d6 damage. 48 damage doesn't feel like a lot, though. And let me. I'm actually just going to look it up online this time, because I can't be asked to open the DMG again. Oh. For single target, 60-10 is standard for single target. Realistically, I say we drop it to 40-10 because it does have additional effects. And then we have at higher levels, when you cast this spell using a spell slot of 5th level or higher. The spell's range? Because realistically, you're not casting this spell for the damage, right? No, I'm going to do damage, because, again, it's like... range scaling is kind of whack. The spell's damage increases by 1d10 for each spell slot level expended above 4th. So it scales pretty okay. You know, if you're out of 4ths casting that, you're not going to be annoyed if you have to cast a spell of 5th. And it is one of those spells where it's like, it's actively quite useful. You know, it has an effect that very few, if any, other spells have. You know, forcible teleportation of another creature. But it has, you know, and it does damage, but obviously has the downside if you have to bring them fairly close to you. And if you're like a sorcerer, for instance, you know, obviously if you still have movement, you can just walk 30 feet away from them and you're fine. And if you're a ranger or a warlock who may possibly be melee, I mean, if you're either, why would you? But, you know, because ranger and warlock, they can be melee, but there's only very specific ways to make that not shit. Very specific ways to make that not shit. But regardless, I quite like the spell. I think it's pretty neat. I think it has a lot of use. It has, you know, it can be employed in a lot of fun ways, and those are the kinds of spells that are, even if it proves to not be amazing, people are going to want to cast it because it's fun. And if a spell is pretty okay and also really fun, then it is, design-wise, a good spell. If a spell is really good and fun, then it's like, then it becomes a bit ubiquitous. You know, it's like Fireball, right? Everybody learns Fireball because it's basically the best spell in the game at the level that you get it. And, you know, why would you ever cast Fireball? And why would you ever not learn Fireball when you can... Why would you ever learn another spell when you can just learn Fireball instead? Or a damaging spell, at least. At the level that you get it. And that's kind of a problem. But when you have a spell that's probably pretty good and also really fun, then that's good stuff. It becomes ubiquitous, not necessarily for its power, but because people genuinely want to use it because it's fun. And that's good shit. That's good shit. I think there's like one spell in my own personal homebrew, because I have a giant library of that shit in my home game, that has, whilst it's not appeared much recently, one of the first spells I ever designed, actually, Gravity Pulse, you know, is basically Fireball, but it's like a 20-foot radius, forcibly pull, no save everybody to the center, and then they save and take a fairly reasonable amount of force damage in the process. It was a very popular spell for a very long time, and now Gravity Crush has kind of taken over it, which is another spell that's in Archive 2, which is probably coming out at some point in the next couple of months. I also have another book that's coming out in like a week or two, but I haven't announced it yet. Shh. Secret. I mean, it's not a secret because I've talked about it quite openly at least a couple times, but whatever. Either way, I think I'm gonna play some Magic now. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna like set up the stream and like go. I'm gonna do that. In the meantime, I'm actually quite curious because I've just spent a bunch of time talking about spell design. Does anybody here have like a niche spell that they really, really like? It could be homebrew if you want. Like, that's fine. Because I know a lot of people here are people who have played with my homebrew before. Or it can be some other form. If it's another form of homebrew, I'm especially interested because I like adding spells to my repertoire. I add them to my home game in various ways. Yeah, does anybody have like, oh, I love this spell because of this, abstract reason, even if the spell isn't necessarily all that great? I mean, if it is really good too, then great. Because I have a few favorites, some notable ones at least. namely a lot of like the weird DM spells, like the kind of spells that players would never cast, like guards and wards, and trying to think of other good, like magic jar, shit like that, shit that's like really niche and really weird, but it's really really fun. Right, where is I need to open up Arena for starters. I need to bloody well do that, don't I? Need to change the stream title and all the bloody things. So that's going to take me some fucking time, isn't it? Oh, I dropped the LGBTQ one. Apparently, I accidentally deleted that one. Let's put that back. I can turn the brightness back up actually, because Arena is actually pretty dimly lit most of the time. I won't put it up too high, but I'll turn it up a bit. Magic the Gathering. Alright, there we go. We have successfully moved over. I just need to open up some bits and pieces. Game capture. Let's actually set it to the game in question, because I still have it set to Dishonored. MTGA. Oh, things are falling. Oh, and it's all the wrong aspect ratio because Dishonored. Let me just... don't mind me. Just fixing the aspect ratio of my game. Oh, I was playing blue. Oh, you can't see the deck name. Hang on. I gotta show you this fucking deck name. There we go. Because I'm a fucking idiot. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So we're gonna play. We're gonna play Historic Ranked. Oh, we already have it set up, so we can play Narset's Best Buds. It's good shit. I realised I didn't put a break in the recording. I'm just gonna do it here. Whatever.